Hey guys, Malcolm here, Survival Know-How. This video is part of a 5-part collaborative series I'm doing with Survivalopedia.com, where I'm demonstrating 5 survival hacks that could save your life. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a wooden cage to catch a live game with using a few sticks and a very minimum amount of cordage. Stay tuned. So the first thing you need to do is go out and collect a bunch of sticks. Now you want them all to be smaller than about 2 feet long, and you don't want anything to be thicker than about the width of your thumb. Actually, in this case, the thinner they are, the more effective this trap will be. So I'm using bamboo today just to demonstrate this trap. I love how straight they all are. They're all uniform in size, but you can use any kind of sticks that you can find out there. Just a word of advice, try to find sticks that are up off the ground, right? If they're sitting on the ground, that means they're probably absorbing moisture and they're probably rotted on the inside. All right, so now that you've gathered your pile of sticks, the first thing you want to do is take 2 pieces of your cordage and tie 2 sticks together. So this is probably about 2.5 feet right here between these two, but how much cordage you have between the two is really going to determine how high up your trap is going to be. I think this is more than fine for me and for any kind of small game. So now that you have 2 pieces tied together like this, you want to twist it like this so you have an X between them. And this is going to be the start of our trap. So now you want to take a fairly long piece here and feed it in here between the X and push it off for one side. Take another longer piece, feed it in here and push it off the side. All right. Oops. So you're left with something like this. It's really loose right now. It's hard to show. All right. Now we're gonna take 2 more pieces and we're gonna feed it in the opposite direction. Okay. And again, we're gonna go underneath this X and through the center here, and then push off to the side. And we're gonna do that for both sides. Okay, just like that. Kind of push them out, keep it nice and taut. And then we do it again, except in the opposite direction. So you pick up the X here, you feed it through the center, and then you push out to the side. So you just go ahead and continue on with this process, just like this, and keep kind of pushing them out. Feed through the center, you push off to the side. Another tip is that, so let's say I have a thicker piece here. This is not this thick. You want to have about the same thickness on both sides. I'll take this guy, feed him in, push him out. Okay, so you can kind of see it's starting to form already. So as you get to the top layers here, you start noticing that there's a lot of tension here, and it gets a little bit more tricky to stick a new layer in there. And that's perfectly fine. This entire trap is held together by tension. Okay, we don't have to tie any more string to any of these sticks to hold them in place. It's all being held in by tension. So you want a lot of tension in these last few layers. All right, so I don't think I can fit any more layers in there. So now what I need to do is fill in the gap here to push these 2 sticks out to continue keeping tension on the entire trap. Okay, so now we are pretty much finished, and as you can see, this whole thing is being kept together just by the tension of each successive layer. And as you can see, it creates a pretty effective little trap, right? You'd have to be pretty small to get through that. Now, if you remember earlier, I said that you want to have thinner sticks, right? The thinner, the better. And the reason for that is the thickness of the stick directly dictates how big of a gap is on the adjacent side, I guess. So the thinner the sticks are, the better. So now that we've got our trap finished, there's a few things that you can do to it. So one, if you wanted to kind of clean it up, you can trim off all these excess pieces here. And another thing you can do is you can actually take vines or small branches and weave them in and out of these pieces of wood here if you're worried about these gaps, okay? And it also helps you kind of blend it in more with the environment. So, for example, I've got these shoots here from the bamboo. All right, I could just take this and just weave it in and out. All right, guys, so here's just kind of a view of what it looks like from the inside of the cage. I've stuck a little bit of bamboo shoots here just to help camouflage it a little bit, but you can obviously do that a lot more, and that'll probably help fill in these gaps a bit. But as you can see, that's a pretty good size, right? You could easily catch a bird, a squirrel, a rabbit, you know, some kind of small game like that inside of there. So now I'm going to show you how to turn this into a deadfall. So there's a few different types of deadfalls. You know, you can take your pick. You get the figure 4 deadfall, which I've done another video on. But there's also the split stick deadfall, which I'm going to show you today, which is pretty neat. So for the split stick deadfall, it's actually really easy to make the triggering mechanism. All you're going to need for it is one straight branch, and a handsaw really comes in handy. So what you want to do, about halfway through, make a saw cut or a stop cut going through about half the branch thickness, okay? You don't want to go too far. All right, kind of hard to see, but that's about halfway through. Now on the opposite side and down about an inch, you want to do the same thing and go about halfway through. So you can see I have it going about halfway through going this way and then about halfway through going this way. And all you should have to do is bang this really hard on the surface and they'll naturally split right there in the middle. All right, so after some playing around, you should be left with something like this. So the original stick was like that, and now it's split like that. So you can actually just connect these back together like this, and you're gonna have the weight of the trap pushing down on top here. Okay, and then you want to attach strings from this bottom piece to the inside of the trap. So once an animal trips the string, it'll detach from here and the trap will fall. Now I'm actually going to clean these up just a little bit just to get a little better contact between the two of them. So we've now tied string kind of like this to the back piece here. You want to stick him right in there. And then you stick the top of your trigger like so. And you kind of maneuver it around to try to balance it, the trap on it, just like that. As you can see, it's a little tricky. Get the weight distributed just right. Okay, so now if a small animal comes in and if they trigger the stick, the entire trap falls on them just like that. So there you go, guys. That is how you make a bushcraft trap to catch live game. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out the other 4 videos in this 5-video collaborative series that I'm doing with Survivalopedia.com, where I'm demonstrating some survival hacks that might just save your life one day.